called the ocean. What the ancient Greeks once knew as the Vales of Poseidon, we now know as the mighty deep. The ocean covers at least half of our great planet. But how are those of us on the other half supposed to get our wet, salty fix? For generations and generations, SeaWorld has been the only real option for the nautically challenged. A place of wonder, imagination, and water animals that do things for you. A place for the good times, regardless of age, wealth, or race. However, of course, all good things must come to an end. Like a great white swooping down on a baby seal like a hawk in the night, tragedy has snatched away this once respected institution's good name. In 2013, a documentary called Blackfish was released, marking the beginning of the proverbial rocking of SeaWorld's only semi-proverbial boat. The documentary posed harsh claims about the establishment's animal inhabitants being neglected notably more than they probably should be. And just like that, the movie started a fire that no singular SeaWorld's water supply could extinguish. But is SeaWorld really not taking care of its animal stars? Is safety not, in fact, coming first? And just how worried should we be about that American legend, Shamu? In order to get these much-needed answers and more, I decided to go to the one in charge of it all.
The president of SeaWorld himself.
Hello. I'm here with the president of SeaWorld himself, Mr. Jim Atkinson.
Hello there. I'm Jim Atkinson, the president of SeaWorld himself.
Don't do that.
Do what?
You just reversed the ordering of my words. It's like upfront plagiarism.
I'm sorry.
Yes, well, speaking of sorry, are you sorry for what you did to the animals?
What are you referring to exactly?
You know, the neglect.
Which specific neglect?
Well, I didn't watch all of Blackfish, but I know that some whales were abused too much or something. I keep hearing about how terrible it is.
You know how rumors spread.
So you're saying there was no abuse?
I'm not saying there was no abuse. I mean, you can't not expect a little abuse to fall through the cracks here and there.
The cracks?
The proverbial cracks.
That's not a proverb. You can't just use that word whenever you want.
Look, I'm just trying to clean my slate here. Things haven't been easy on me lately.
Things have been hard on you? What about for the whales? Is it true that the whales you breed die a lot earlier than they would if they were released into the wild?
Well, yeah, but only by around 20 to 30 years or so. But it's cool, so they don't mind.
They don't mind?
Not at all. Our whales are nihilists.
What?
At SeaWorld, we train every whale we breed to be a nihilist from birth. Once we get them to realize that life's but a meaningless void, they totally forget about being in captivity forever and dying young and stuff.
You can't. It's not a thing you can do.
What do you know? You're not a marine biologist. We just pump some Nietzsche over the intercom each night. Maybe work in a couple of hours of Joy Division. Just give them a little time to straight things shit through.
So you're telling me that your whales don't mind the neglect?
Exactly. For them, it's all pretty much just a momentary diversion on the road to the grave.
What road? It's their water animals.
That's not the point. Look, if you don't believe me, why don't you go talk to them yourself?
You know, maybe I'll do just that. Doing just that, I booked myself a ticket to their location in sunny Orlando, Florida, in order to get a closer look at these potentially philosophically jaded creatures of the deep. I'm here, right in the heart of the splash zone, the part of SeaWorld where shit is most commonly known to get real. With me is perhaps the best-known whale of all time, Shamu. So Shamu, what do you think about the controversy surrounding Blackfish? Would you say that the conditions were exaggerated then? Well, don't you think that people should be held accountable? Look, I'm just trying to understand you. What do you mean? Of course it matters. How could you just look at me and say that? You're making this really difficult. You sound like my father. This has been The Plight of the Deep, an oral narrative by Austin Saunders for Zizza's Thursday Sound Image class. Starring Austin Saunders and Ryan Kwan, unfortunately.